Have you ever sat quietly in your favorite armchair, the late afternoon sun slanting through the window, and noticed a change so subtle you almost dismissed it? A whisper of a difference in the way the world feels, tastes, or sounds? We talk a great deal about the grand milestones of aging, retirement, grandchildren, the wisdom that comes with decades of experience. But what about the quiet truths, the ones that unfold not in headlines, but in the small, intimate moments of daily life? These are the changes that no one prepares you for, the shifts in your body and mind that can reshape your reality in ways both perplexing and profound. These are not the clinical facts you'll find in a medical pamphlet or the cheerful advice columns in a magazine. They are the hidden currents beneath the surface, the subtle recalibrations of your very being that define life after the age of 75. In this exploration, we are going to pull back the curtain on 8 fundamental truths about this unique stage of life, truths you have likely never heard discussed with such candor. Each one offers a clearer picture of what is happening within you, not as a sign of decline, but as a testament to a body that has journeyed long and far. Some will validate a quiet suspicion you've held for years. Others may fundamentally alter your perspective on the path ahead. I urge you to stay with me until the very end, because the final truth we uncover may challenge everything you thought you knew about growing older, opening a door to a new and empowered way of thinking about your future. Let us begin. The first truth: the shifting landscape of your palate. Imagine sitting down to a Thanksgiving dinner, a scene you've cherished for half a century. The aroma of roasted turkey, the savory scent of stuffing, the sweet perfume of your famous apple pie. These are the pillars of your culinary memory. But this year, something is different. The turkey, seasoned with the same loving hand, tastes muted. The pie, once a symphony of cinnamon and tart apples, now feels faintly one-dimensional. You might wonder if the recipe was changed, if an ingredient was forgotten. But the truth, far more personal and profound, is that the palate that is judging the food has itself transformed. After 75, you may discover that the foods you once craved no longer offer the same profound satisfaction, while other, once ignored flavors suddenly beckon with a surprising appeal. This evolution can be incredibly subtle at first. Your morning cup of coffee, a ritual for decades, might taste a bit weaker. A favorite dark chocolate bar may seem to have lost its complex, bitter edge. Over time, these small shifts can compound, altering your eating habits in ways you never anticipated. This isn't a failure of your memory or a fault in the food, it's a biological reality. The primary reason for this change is the natural and gradual decline in our 2 most intimate senses, taste and smell. With age, our taste buds, the tiny sensory organs on our tongue, not only decrease in number, but also become less sensitive. The intricate nerve pathways that transmit these flavor signals to the brain can lose some of their high-speed efficiency. Furthermore, our sense of smell, which is responsible for up to 80% of what we perceive as flavor, often begins to diminish. When the aroma of a simmering stew or a freshly baked loaf of bread doesn't register as vividly, the food itself will inevitably taste blander. This sensory shift is often compounded by other factors common in later life. Many medications, such as those for blood pressure or cholesterol, can interfere with taste, either by muting flavors or by introducing an unpleasant metallic or chemical aftertaste. A drier mouth, another common age-related change or side effect of medication, means there is less saliva to help dissolve food and carry its chemical components to your taste buds. It's a perfect storm of small cumulative changes that can fundamentally redefine your relationship with food. You might also find your preferences for texture and temperature changing. A crisp, cold salad that once felt refreshing might now feel harsh on sensitive teeth, while warm, soft foods like soups, stews, and mashed potatoes feel more comforting and are simply easier to enjoy. While this can sometimes lead to a reduced appetite and the associated risks of unintentional weight loss or nutrient deficiencies, it can also be a powerful invitation to embark on a new culinary adventure. This is not a time for resignation, but for exploration. You can reawaken your palate by introducing bolder flavors. Spices and fresh herbs become your greatest allies. If you previously favored milder foods, you might now find that a dash of smoked paprika in your chili, a sprinkle of fresh rosemary on roasted potatoes, or a squeeze of bright lemon juice over fish can bring a dish back to life. Exploring different cuisines known for their robust flavors, like Indian curries or Thai sauces, can open up a whole new world of enjoyment. The key is to approach this shift with curiosity rather than frustration. It's about being mindful of nutrition while simultaneously chasing flavor. Balancing appealing tastes with healthy choices is crucial. A plate rich in colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and whole grains is essential for health, and learning to season them in new ways ensures that your meals remain a source of pleasure. Perhaps the most profound lesson here is that our relationship with food is not static. It is a living, breathing part of our journey. By embracing this change, you can discover new favorites that perfectly suit your body's current needs, ensuring that mealtime continues to be a source of joy, connection, and nourishment. Have you noticed a change in your own taste preferences over the years? Share a food you've come to love later in life in the comments below. Your discovery might inspire someone else. The second truth, the fading whisper of thirst. One of the most insidious and overlooked changes that accompanies us into our later years concerns one of the body's most fundamental signals, thirst. You might find yourself spending an entire morning gardening in your California backyard or an afternoon reading on the porch, only to realize at dinner time that you haven't had a single glass of water. This isn't because you are perfectly hydrated, it's because the internal alarm system designed to alert you to your body's need for fluid has become significantly quieter. The once clear, urgent message of "I'm thirsty" can fade to a barely audible whisper, making it dangerously easy for dehydration to sneak up on you. You might think you're perfectly fine, only to be hit by a sudden wave of lightheadedness, a bout of inexplicable fatigue, or the realization that your mouth feels as dry as cotton. This change occurs for a complex set of physiological reasons. The hypothalamus, the part of the brain that acts as the body's thermostat and fluid regulator, becomes less responsive with age. It simply doesn't register a fluid deficit with the same urgency it once did. In parallel, our kidneys, which are masterpieces of fluid conservation, may lose some of their ability to concentrate urine and hold on to water. To add to this, the total amount of water in our bodies naturally decreases as we age, meaning we have a smaller fluid reserve to draw from. This physiological reality is often compounded by behavioral adaptations. Many older adults consciously limit their fluid intake, especially in the evening, to avoid disruptive nighttime trips to the bathroom. While this seems like a practical solution to one problem, it can inadvertently create a much more serious one: chronic, low-level dehydration. The consequences of this are far-reaching. Even mild dehydration can dramatically affect your cognitive function, leading to difficulty concentrating, memory lapses, and a general feeling of mental fog. It can sap your physical energy, making daily tasks feel monumental. It can lead to headaches, muscle cramps, and constipation. In more severe cases, it can contribute to confusion, urinary tract infections, kidney problems, and even life-threatening falls. Unlike the loud, demanding pangs of hunger, this muted thirst response can make the early warning signs easy to dismiss. You might attribute your afternoon slump to just getting older, or a mild headache to stress, without ever connecting it to the empty water glass on your nightstand. Therefore, countering this change requires a deliberate shift in mindset, from reactive drinking to proactive hydration. You can no longer afford to wait for thirst to be your guide. Instead, hydration must be woven into the very fabric of your daily routine. A simple but powerful strategy is to keep a glass or a reusable bottle of water visible and within reach at all times, on your side table, next to your favorite chair, or on the kitchen counter. Tying hydration to other daily habits can be incredibly effective. Make it a rule to drink a small glass of water when you wake up, with each meal, and when you take your medications. Explore other hydrating fluids like herbal teas, a splash of fruit juice in sparkling water, or even a cup of warm broth. Don't forget that many foods have high water content. Incorporating things like melon, oranges, cucumbers, and soups into your diet can significantly contribute to your overall fluid intake. The goal isn't to force yourself to chug gallons of water, but to maintain a gentle, steady stream of hydration throughout the day. This small act of conscious self-care is one of the most powerful things you can do to support every single system in your body, preserving your energy, clarity, and well-being. If you're finding these insights valuable, please comment with the number 2 below to let us know. And if you haven't already, hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell ensures you won't miss our future deep dives into living well at every age. The third truth: your skin becomes a more sensitive messenger. By the time you reach your late 70s and beyond, your skin has become a living chronicle of your life's journey. It has felt the warmth of 1,000 suns, the sting of winter winds, and the soft caress of a loved one's hand. But what many people don't fully anticipate is how this lifetime of experience changes its very nature, making it far more sensitive to the everyday world. A gentle bump against the corner of a coffee table that you would have once ignored might now leave a startling, deep purple bruise. A few minutes in the midday sun without a hat can result in a patch of red, irritated skin. Even the familiar texture of a favorite wool sweater might now cause a persistent, low-grade itch. This heightened sensitivity is a direct result of structural changes within the skin itself. The epidermis, the outermost protective layer, naturally becomes thinner and more translucent with age. The fatty layer of subcutaneous tissue that lies just beneath, providing a cushion against impact, gradually diminishes. This is why a minor knock can cause more damage. Simultaneously, the small blood vessels, or capillaries, become more fragile and are closer to the surface, making them more prone to breaking and causing those all-too-common bruises. Furthermore, your skin's production of natural oils, which form a protective barrier called the acid mantle, declines significantly. This leads to drier, more fragile skin that is less able to defend itself against environmental irritants, friction, and temperature fluctuations. The result is skin that sends you signals much more quickly and insistently than it did before. You might notice that minor injuries, like a scratch from a rose bush while gardening or a small nick while shaving, seem to take much longer to heal. The marks they leave behind may be more pronounced and fade more slowly. Even sustained, gentle pressure can leave its mark. Resting your arm on a countertop for a few minutes might leave a temporary indentation or a reddish area that takes time to disappear. This isn't merely a cosmetic issue. It is your body's way of communicating that its primary shield now requires more conscious care and attention to remain healthy and comfortable. Thankfully, adapting your daily habits can make a world of difference. Choosing to wear soft, lightweight, and breathable fabrics like cotton or bamboo can prevent the friction and irritation caused by rougher materials. The simple act of applying a gentle, fragrance-free moisturizer to your entire body, especially after bathing, is one of the most effective ways to restore the skin's protective lipid barrier and improve its comfort and resilience. When you plan to spend time outdoors, even for a short walk to the mailbox, making sunscreen and protective clothing a non-negotiable part of your routine will shield your vulnerable skin from damaging UV rays. It's also crucial to support your skin from the inside out. Staying well hydrated, as we've already discussed, is essential for skin pliability. A diet rich in antioxidants and healthy fats found in foods like avocados, nuts, seeds, and fatty fish can provide the building blocks your skin needs to maintain its integrity. When those inevitable small cuts or bruises do occur, cleaning them promptly and protecting the area with a bandage can significantly reduce the risk of infection and promote a smoother healing process. While it might feel strange at first to have to think so carefully about protecting your skin from the rigors of everyday contact, it's actually a beautiful sign of respect for all that it has endured. With a few thoughtful adjustments, you can keep your skin comfortable and healthy, allowing you to remain active, engaged, and confident in every season of your life. The fourth truth: the unpredictable new rhythms of sleep. One of the most profound and often frustrating shifts after 75 occurs in the quiet, dark hours of the night. Your relationship with sleep, once a predictable and restorative constant, may evolve into something far more complex and unpredictable. You might find yourself growing drowsy on the sofa shortly after dinner, only to be wide awake before the first hint of dawn. Or you might manage to stay in bed for 8 hours, yet wake up feeling unrefreshed, as if you've merely been resting rather than truly sleeping. This isn't a sign of failure. It is a fundamental change in the very architecture of your sleep. The core of the issue lies in the distribution of your sleep stages. A healthy sleep cycle moves through several phases, including light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep. It is during deep sleep, also known as slow-wave sleep, that the body performs its most critical repair work. This is when tissues are mended, the immune system is bolstered, growth hormone is released, and memories are consolidated. As we age, we naturally spend significantly less time in this deeply restorative stage and more time in the lighter stages of sleep. This makes you much more susceptible to being awakened by small disturbances, the sound of the house settling, a distant car, a change in room temperature, or the familiar need to use the bathroom. This architectural shift is often accompanied by hormonal changes. The production of melatonin, the hormone that governs our sleep-wake cycle, tends to decline with age, making it more difficult to both fall asleep and, crucially, fall back asleep after being awakened in the middle of the night. This is why a 3 a.m. trip to the bathroom can so easily turn into an hour or two of staring at the ceiling, your mind suddenly wide awake and racing. Daytime habits and lifestyle factors also play a significant role. Napping during the day, while it can provide a welcome boost of energy, can sometimes disrupt the drive for sleep at night, particularly if the naps are long or taken late in the afternoon. A more sedentary lifestyle, with less exposure to natural daylight, can also confuse the body's internal clock, or circadian rhythm, further weakening the signals for sleep and wakefulness. And, of course, a wide array of medications for common conditions like high blood pressure, heart disease, or arthritis can have side effects that interfere with sleep patterns. While this can all sound disheartening, it does not mean that restful nights are a thing of the past. The key is to work with your body's new rhythm, not against it. Creating a steadfast and calming pre-sleep routine is paramount. An hour before your intended bedtime, turn off the bright screens, dim the lights, and engage in a relaxing activity like reading a book, listening to soft music, or doing gentle stretches. This signals to your brain that it's time to wind down. Optimizing your sleep environment is equally critical. A bedroom that is cool, completely dark, and quiet becomes a sanctuary for rest. Blackout curtains and a white noise machine can be invaluable tools. Listening to your body becomes more important than ever. If you find yourself consistently waking up at 5 a.m., but you feel rested and clear-headed, perhaps this is simply your new normal. Fighting it may cause more stress than accepting it and starting your day a little earlier. However, if persistent fatigue is impacting your quality of life, it is essential to speak with a healthcare provider to rule out underlying conditions like sleep apnea or restless leg syndrome. Ultimately, your sleep pattern is not a grade on a report card. It is a reflection of a lifetime of experience and your body's evolving needs. By approaching it with patience and strategy, you can still find the restorative peace that supports a vibrant and healthy life. Have you found a new routine that helps with your sleep? Please share your tips in the comments. Your experience could be a great help to others in our community. The fifth truth: the art of patient recovery. There's a quiet shift in resilience that becomes apparent after 75, a change in the body's timeline for healing. You may notice it first with something minor. A common cold that, in your 50s, would have been a 3-day inconvenience, now seems to linger for a week or more, leaving a trail of fatigue in its wake. A small scrape on the arm from working in the garden, which used to vanish without a thought, now requires more time, more care, and seems to leave a more lasting mark. This is not a sign that you are doing something wrong or that your health is failing. It is a fundamental truth that the body's magnificent internal repair systems now operate at a more deliberate, unhurried pace. The immune system, a complex and beautiful network of cells and proteins that fights off infections and mends damaged tissue, simply does not have the same rapid response capability it did decades ago. Think of it less like an emergency response team and more like a team of meticulous, seasoned artisans who take their time to do the job right. This slowdown can make everyday health challenges feel like more significant disruptions. A bout of seasonal flu might leave you feeling profoundly drained for weeks after the main symptoms have subsided. Even something as routine as dental work or a minor outpatient procedure may require a longer period of rest and recuperation than you anticipate. The reasons for this are woven into our cellular biology. With age, the body produces fewer of the specialized cells, like certain T cells and neutrophils, that are essential for a swift immune response and rapid tissue healing. The cells it does produce may not be quite as efficient or agile as their younger counterparts. Furthermore, changes in circulation can mean that the vital nutrients and oxygen needed for repair may not reach the site of an injury as quickly. When you combine these factors, it becomes clear why the process of bouncing back feels fundamentally different. While this new reality can be a source of frustration, it also offers a profound lesson in patience and self-compassion. The temptation to push through and get back to your normal routine after feeling unwell can be strong, but it can often be counterproductive, potentially delaying a full recovery or even causing a relapse. Instead, this stage of life calls for a new kind of wisdom, the wisdom to listen to your body's need for rest and to honor it without judgment. If you used to be back on your daily walk the day after a fever broke, you might now find that waiting an extra day or two allows your strength to return more completely. This slower recovery timeline also powerfully underscores the importance of prevention. Taking small, consistent steps to support your health becomes an even more critical investment. Staying up to date with recommended vaccinations, nourishing your body with nutrient-rich foods, and engaging in gentle but regular exercise all help to keep your immune system in the best possible shape for when it is called into action. And just as importantly, learning to truly listen to your body's subtle signals, whether that means taking an afternoon nap when you feel tired or postponing a strenuous chore for another day, can make the entire healing process smoother and more effective. Perhaps the most significant shift is one of perspective. Slower recovery is not a defeat. It is a natural aspect of a long and well-lived life, one that invites you to trade speed for thoroughness and impatience for self-care. When you stop measuring your health by how fast you recover and start measuring it by how fully you recover, you begin to truly respect the rhythm your body now requires. The sixth truth: when your eyes deceive your feet. Balance is a magical, unconscious symphony conducted by the brain, relying on a constant stream of information from three key sources: your inner ear, the nerves in your muscles and joints, and, most critically, your eyes. As you navigate your world, your vision provides an ongoing, detailed map, helping you judge distances, perceive textures, and adjust to uneven surfaces. After 75, balance can often become more of a conscious effort, and surprisingly, the root of the instability may not be in your legs or your ears, but may quietly originate in your eyes. When your eyesight undergoes subtle changes, it can alter your depth perception and spatial awareness in ways you may not consciously register until you find yourself feeling unexpectedly unsteady. A moment of hesitation at the top of a staircase, a slight wobble when stepping off a curb, or an inexplicable stumble on a perfectly flat surface can all be symptoms of your brain receiving slightly distorted visual information. These changes are often so gradual that it's easy to miss the connection. A small, almost imperceptible decline in your peripheral vision can make you less aware of an object at your side. Minor shifts in depth perception can cause you to misjudge the height of a step. The progression of common age-related eye conditions like cataracts, which can cloud the lens and scatter light, or glaucoma, which affects peripheral vision, can slowly but surely degrade the quality of the signals your brain relies on to keep you upright and stable. Even the way your eyes adjust to changing light levels can play a dramatic role. Imagine stepping from a bright, sunny porch in Florida into the dimmer light of your living room. A younger person's eyes would adjust almost instantly. As you get older, this transition can take several seconds longer, and in that brief period of partial blindness, your risk of tripping over a rug or bumping into furniture increases significantly. This intimate link between vision and balance is why an unexpected stumble should never be casually brushed off as simple clumsiness. Your brain is desperately trying to maintain your posture, but if the visual cues it depends on are fuzzy, delayed, or incomplete, your body must work much harder to stay steady. Recognizing this connection is the first step toward taking practical, empowering action. The most important thing you can do is commit to regular, comprehensive eye exams. Catching these changes early, updating your eyeglass prescription, or managing conditions like cataracts can have a direct and dramatic impact on your stability and confidence. At home, you can transform your environment to support your vision. Improving lighting is key, especially in transitional areas like hallways, staircases, and entryways. Adding night lights can make a world of difference for those middle-of-the-night journeys. Beyond your home, simple choices can enhance your safety. Wearing supportive shoes with good traction provides a stable base. Being mindful to keep walkways clear of clutter reduces potential hazards. And making a habit of using handrails on stairs or grab bars in the bathroom provides an extra layer of security. As you adjust, it's also wonderfully beneficial to strengthen the other systems involved in balance. Gentle exercises like Tai Chi or water aerobics are superb because they train your muscles, joints, and inner ear to become more attuned, helping them compensate when visual input is less than perfect. Understanding the role your eyesight plays in your balance isn't about limiting your life. It's about giving yourself the tools to live it safely and fully. If this insight about the connection between vision and balance was helpful, please comment with the number 6 below. Your feedback helps us know what content resonates most with you. The 7th truth: your internal thermostat weakens. You might step out onto your porch on a crisp New England morning and feel only a mild coolness in the air, even as a younger neighbor is pulling on a heavy sweater. Conversely, on a hot, humid summer afternoon, you might not sense just how oppressive the heat has become until you suddenly feel overcome with fatigue or dizziness. This is because after 75, the body's ability to perceive and respond to temperature changes can become significantly weaker. Your internal thermostat, once a highly sensitive and responsive system, now operates with less precision. This diminished sensitivity is more than just a curiosity. It can quietly increase your risk for serious conditions like hypothermia and heat-related illnesses. This crucial shift happens because the body's entire temperature regulation network becomes less efficient with age. The sensory receptors in your skin, which are responsible for sending signals about heat and cold to the brain, become less numerous and less responsive. At the same time, the body's physiological responses to those signals are slower to engage. For example, in cold weather, your body may not start shivering as quickly to generate heat. In hot weather, your sweat glands may produce less sweat, and your circulatory system may be slower to move blood to the skin's surface to cool down. You are essentially operating with a less effective early warning system and a less robust response team. This change is often magnified by common health conditions and medications. Chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease, or thyroid disorders can interfere with the body's ability to manage its temperature. Likewise, many common medications, including some used for high blood pressure, depression, or allergies, can alter the body's normal responses to heat and cold. These factors can conspire to create a dangerous situation where you don't realize you are overheating or becoming too cold until symptoms are already setting in. Because you can no longer fully rely on your body's sensations, awareness and preparation become your best defenses. In the cooler months, dressing in layers is the most effective strategy. This allows you to trap air for insulation and easily adjust your clothing if you move between different environments. Wearing a hat, scarf, and gloves when outdoors is critical, as a significant amount of body heat is lost through the head and extremities. In warmer weather, the focus shifts to staying cool and hydrated. Wear light-colored, loose-fitting, and breathable fabrics. Plan your outdoor activities for the coolest parts of the day, early morning or late evening. Seek out shaded areas or air-conditioned spaces like a library or community center during the peak heat of the day. At home, pay close attention to your thermostat to maintain a comfortable and safe ambient temperature. A small fan can help circulate air in the summer, while a safe, modern space heater can provide extra warmth in a specific room during the winter. And, as always, consistent hydration is key, even if you don't feel thirsty, as it supports your body's ability to regulate its temperature. This truth isn't about becoming fearful of the weather. It's about respecting that your body no longer sends the same clear signals. By relying more on conscious habits and smart preparation, you can continue to enjoy the beauty of every season with comfort, safety, and confidence. The eighth truth, the quiet metamorphosis of your voice. Of all the changes that come with age, perhaps none is so intimately tied to our identity as the sound of our own voice. It is the vessel for our stories, the carrier of our laughter, the instrument of our authority and our affection. One of the least discussed truths of life after 75 is the subtle, gradual metamorphosis that can occur in your voice. You may find that people start asking you to repeat yourself more often. You might notice your voice feeling tired or strained after a long phone call with a friend. It might sound softer, a little higher in pitch, or less steady than it once did, even when you are in perfect health. These changes are often so incremental that you may not notice them yourself until you hear a recording or a loved one gently points it out. This phenomenon, known as presbyophonia, is a natural result of the aging process within the larynx or voice box. The vocal cords, which are intricate folds of muscle and tissue, can lose some of their mass, elasticity, and tone over time, just like any other muscle in the body. The surrounding tissues may thin, and the cartilage framework of the larynx can stiffen. At the same time, the muscles that support your breath, the diaphragm and intercostal muscles, can weaken, making it more challenging to produce the strong, steady column of air needed to project your voice powerfully. Together, these small shifts can alter the quality, pitch, and volume of your voice, even if your personality and the words you speak remain as vibrant as ever. Lifestyle and environmental factors can also play a role. A lifetime of talking over background noise, exposure to dry indoor air, or even chronic, mild acid reflux can cause irritation or stress to the vocal cords. Certain medications can contribute to a dry throat, which can make speaking for extended periods more tiring and uncomfortable. It can be emotionally challenging to feel that you are not being heard, both literally and figuratively. But the good news is that your voice is not a fixed entity. It can be cared for, maintained, and even strengthened. The single most important thing you can do for your vocal health is to stay well hydrated. Drinking plenty of water keeps the vocal cords moist and flexible. You can also think of your voice as something that benefits from gentle exercise. Simple practices like humming for a few minutes each day, reading a chapter of a book aloud, or practicing sustained vowel sounds, ah, ee, ooh, can help maintain muscle tone. Learning to breathe from your diaphragm rather than taking shallow breaths from your chest will give your voice more power and resonance without causing strain. Pay attention to your posture. Sitting or standing tall opens up your chest cavity and allows for better airflow, which directly supports a stronger, clearer voice. If you do notice persistent hoarseness, pain, or a sudden dramatic change in your voice, it is always wise to consult a healthcare professional to rule out any treatable underlying conditions. Your voice is so much more than a means of communication. It is the sound of you. Even if it grows softer or changes its timbre, it still carries the accumulated wisdom, humor, and character of a life richly lived. By caring for it intentionally, you ensure that it remains a powerful tool for connection, storytelling, and leaving your unique impression on the world. Final thoughts for the journey ahead. As we draw this conversation to a close, let's pause and reflect on what these 8 truths truly represent. They are not a clinical diagnosis of decline or a sorrowful list of losses. They are, in fact, a roadmap to a deeper understanding of your own life. They are the quiet, intimate acknowledgments that your body, this faithful vessel that has carried you through decades of love, work, struggle, and joy, is entering a new season. Each shift, from a slower recovery to a softer voice, from a new sleep pattern to a changing palate, is a natural part of a long and meaningful journey. The more you understand these truths, not as adversaries to be fought, but as guides to be listened to, the more gracefully and powerfully you can adapt. You may have recognized yourself in many of these descriptions. Perhaps you've already noticed how your skin reacts differently to the sun, or you've consciously started keeping a water bottle nearby even when you don't feel thirsty. Maybe a favorite meal no longer holds the same magic, or you found a strange peace in the quiet, early morning hours when the rest of the world is asleep. These are not trivial observations to be dismissed. They are vital signals from your body, teaching you how to live well within its present reality. What matters most is not the changes themselves, but how you choose to respond to them. By approaching each shift with curiosity instead of frustration, with compassion instead of judgment, you transform them from limitations into opportunities. You become a culinary explorer in your own kitchen. You become a master of creating a safe and comfortable home environment. You learn to honor your body's need for rest as a sign of wisdom, not weakness. These shifts do not close doors. They simply guide you toward different ones, often opening up experiences and a depth of self-awareness you might never have considered before. Remember, you are not on this journey alone. Millions of others are navigating these same subtle adjustments, learning how to protect their health while embracing the unique joys of this chapter of life. Sharing your experiences, both the challenges and the victories, can be a profound source of connection and encouragement for others, and in turn help you feel less isolated in your own experience. Thank you for spending this time with us today. We would be honored to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one truth from our discussion that truly resonated with you, and perhaps how you plan to approach it in your own life. Your story and your insights are a vital part of this conversation. Reading your comments gives us immense motivation and encouragement. If you found this video valuable and insightful, please show your support by clicking the like button, subscribing to our channel, and sharing it with someone who might benefit. Your support helps us continue to create meaningful, informative content that aims to inform and inspire. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.